This lecture will cover the chapter called The Cultural Context of Classical Myth. Don't forget to refer to this map often during the course. This is a map of modern-day Greece and Turkey. And these are maps to compare the ancient world to the modern world in terms of maps. For the sake of this course, be able to locate Greece, Turkey, the Aegean Sea, Crete, and basics like the city of Athens. You will want to note that mountains make up about 3/4 of the land in Greece. The fact that the island is so mountainous is important. It makes it more difficult for successful agriculture. These mountains are high, too. Keep in mind that Greece has small rivers, so they're very dependent on the sea. The sea and their seafaring ways are vital to building up the wealth that Greece eventually had. It all involved trade. And as you can see in this slide, Mount Olympus is a real mountain. The main crops of Greece, today and in ancient times, are wheat, barley, olives, and wine grapes. The image on this slide is of an olive grove. Today, one of Greece's biggest commodities is still olive oil. When it comes to the animals, Greece depends on goats, sheep, and pigs in ancient times and today. There were few cows. Cows need a lot of pasture, and well, that's not Greece. And there were few horses for the same reason. In ancient times, horses belonged to the wealthy. When it comes to goats and sheep, they can eat all kinds of things that grow in awkward places in the mountains. Pigs can too, and they consume things no one wants. Ancient Greeks made the most of their resources. They were known for limestone, which gave them marble for statues and temples. This is a modern quarry for limestone and marble. They were also known for clay, which gave them pottery and clay tablets. This is a photo from an excavation. Their most important resource is the Aegean Sea. The sea gave them fish, allowed them to communicate with the rest of the world, and trade. It also is important to know that with all the little islands of Greece, land was never too far away for the seafarers. This is one rendition of what an ancient Greek ship would have looked like. Keep in mind that there are more than one style. Because the sailors island hopped, they did not need large ship sleeping quarters for their sailors. Think about trying to draw a timeline of certain periods of ancient Greece to give you a perspective of what happened when. Now let's look at this timeline to give you an idea of time passing. We are in the 21st century, and all our years begin with 20. When we refer to events that happened before year 0, we will mention it as BC or BCE. BC is the older term that means before Christ, while the newer term is BCE, which stands for before the Common Era. Things that happen after year 0 will have an AD or a CD after the year. AD is the old term and stood for Anno Domini, and the newer term is CE, which stands for Common Era. One story we will read that is not Greek but is related is the Epic of Gilgamesh. Notice that it was written around 2000 BCE. A little before 1000 BCE, Homer wrote his two most famous works, the Iliad and the Odyssey. Another ancient work to note is China's Xinjing. This was written around 500 BCE. The first blue intersecting to the right is just 1000 CE. Look at the timeline to the left and see just how far we will refer to in this class. The timeline is huge. We will go back almost 7,000 years.